There's a moment most people never notice. A moment when strength quietly slips out of their hands, not through failure, not through rejection, but through words. Too many words. Too much sharing. Too much explaining. It doesn't happen loudly. It leaks. At first, it feels harmless. You open up. You tell your story. You reveal what hurt you, what you fear, what you want. It feels honest. It feels real. It feels like connection. And for a brief moment, it even feels powerful. But then something changes. People start listening differently. Their eyes soften, but their respect subtly shifts. They stop seeing you as solid ground and start seeing you as open terrain. Nothing dramatic, nothing obvious. Just a quiet recalibration. That is emotional leakage. And once it starts, it rarely stops on its own. You see, emotional strength isn't about having no feelings. It's about containment. It's about knowing what to share, when to share, and most importantly, with whom. When you share everything with everyone, you don't become authentic. You become predictable. And predictability is the enemy of power. Think about the people who command presence the moment they enter a room. They don't rush to explain themselves. They don't narrate their pain. They don't spill their inner world to earn understanding. Their silence does more work than most people's speeches. Why? Because mystery creates gravity, and gravity creates respect. When you emotionally overshare, you remove that gravity. You flatten yourself. You turn your inner life into public property. And once your inner world is no longer protected, it can be used consciously or unconsciously against you. People don't need to be cruel to lose respect for you. They only need to know too much. When you tell someone exactly how insecure you are, they don't suddenly become kinder. They become careful. When you reveal how afraid you are of losing them, they don't feel closer. They feel safer holding power. When you explain every emotion you feel in real time, you stop being felt and start being analyzed. And nothing kills attraction, authority, or influence faster than being over-explained. The mistake most people make is confusing vulnerability with exposure. Vulnerability is intentional. Exposure is uncontrolled. Vulnerability is chosen strength. Exposure is emotional spillage. One builds connection. The other invites dominance. Emotional leakage often comes from a good place, a desire to be understood, a fear of being misread, a hope that if people know your struggles, they'll treat you gently. But the world doesn't work that way. The world respects self-regulation. When you constantly broadcast your emotional state, you give others a manual on how to move you. What makes you anxious? What makes you angry? What makes you desperate? And once someone knows how to move you, you are no longer leading, you are reacting. Strong people don't ignore their emotions. They simply understand how and when to express them. They don't share every feeling the moment it appears. They choose carefully, thoughtfully, with awareness, because emotions carry energy. And when they're released without intention, that energy can feel scattered. That's why after oversharing, many people feel tired or exposed. Like they spoke before, fully understanding what they felt. That feeling isn't wrong, it's a sign that a personal boundary may have been crossed. Silence, when used with care, is not suppression. It is reflection. It gives emotions time to settle. It separates impulse from clarity. It allows feelings to turn into understanding before becoming words. People who stay emotionally steady often bring calm into uncertain situations. They are easier to trust because their reactions are measured and consistent. Notice how thoughtful leaders communicate. They speak clearly, but not hurriedly. They pause. They listen. They don't feel the need to explain every thought or justify every emotion. They allow space, and that space brings balance. This doesn't mean becoming distant. It means becoming grounded. Your emotions matter. That's why they deserve care. When feelings are shared too quickly or with the wrong audience, they can be misunderstood. You may be seen as open, but not always as reliable, kindly heard, but not always confidently followed. And kindness alone is not the same as trust. Trust grows when people see emotional strength paired with calm expression, when they sense that you can feel deeply without being overwhelmed. that you can care without losing stability. Repeatedly revisiting old pain can also keep you emotionally tied to the past. Sometimes growth happens quietly, without retelling every story. Not every chapter needs explanation. Some simply need to end. One of the strongest skills you can develop is learning to sit with your emotions before sharing them. To feel first, understand second, and speak third. This is where confidence forms. Because confidence doesn't shout. It feels steady. And steady energy invites respect. When emotions are expressed with intention, people listen more closely. Your words carry weight. Your presence feels calm and clear. You stop trying to be understood and start being felt naturally. So take care of your inner world. Choose who you share it with. Choose when it needs words and when it needs quiet. Strength isn't about never opening up. Strength is knowing when to do so. And with that awareness, emotional balance returns quietly and naturally.